Jeg har levet et meget vildt liv med rigtig mange sjove ting og sager og dårlige mænd for mig og dårlige miljøer. Så jeg havde egentlig tænkt mig at holde en stor pause på klublivet, men så blev jeg 28, som jeg ikke havde troet. Jeg havde altid troet, at lidt fast dig og jeg ville dø som 27-årig. Og så blev jeg alligevel 28, og det skulle fejre. Og så var vi i Berghain, som jo er Berlins mest kendte klub.
Happy birthday!
Men en uge efter, der gik det hele virkelig stærkt. Alle klubber lukkede, og alting gik i stå. Og ja, det endte jo så med, at det var sidste gang, Berghain havde åbent. Så nu jeg bliver 28 for hvad? For verden går under. Så det joker mine venner ret meget med.
I'm a bartender, so the first thing to close in the UK was bars and pubs. I'm used to waking up at like the midday and then go work. In the beginning, I couldn't fall asleep because I'm used to working at night, and I had trouble with sleeping and waking up, and it was really weird. Just all of a sudden, I don't really have anything to do, and in the beginning it was kind of fine, kind of a little bit luxury not having to work and still get paid. But now it's kind of, you feel like it's getting a bit mental, and because you keep trying to find things to do and just turn my whole life into like a morning schedule and waking up in the morning and have a whole day.
Hvor længe var det? Det er fandme svært. Jeg er egentlig rigtig god til at lave ting med mig selv, og sådan, altså har også jo i mange år været aleneagtig, ikke? Men jeg kan godt mærke, at jeg suger også ting fra, at min energi kommer fra andre, ikke? Jeg havde 10 fantastiske dage, hvor jeg simpelthen følte mig i en paradis, hvor alle dem, der rendte rundt og råbte dommedag, jeg var pisse nervøs, jeg kunne slet ikke forstå det. Og så vendte det bare fuldstændig der man fandt ud af, fuck mand, jeg kommer ikke til at komme ud. Alle de ting, der går indad, og hvor man kan koncentrere sig om noget og være sådan zoomet ind på ting, der er fede, de er jo i virkeligheden afhængige af, at der er nogen til at aftage det, altså til at man kan fortælle om det. Og det er der bare ikke nu, og det fuck mand. Så mit batteri bliver ikke fyldt op.
I was an exchange student in Hungary, but then my program got terminated, so I have to go back to my home country. exchange year is like a very big event for me. I was already like, enjoying my stay and like having a lot of friends, and then suddenly I had to go home, go back to reality. It still feels very surreal, and I still question like, why did this have to happen? Like when I'm having the best time of my life.
In the beginning, I was thinking about painting and drawing something about the pandemic. But then I thought it's just a moment, the pandemic, for now.
Do you feel more inspired now that you are more at home and you don't have other things to distract you?
Well, I'm mostly like taking care of my brother actually, so I have to check on him every 45 minutes to check if he's actually at the lectures.
Okay, because it's hard for him to concentrate.
Yeah, but for example, he's not into writing in the classroom. We have to write because the teacher is seeing what you're doing, and here they don't see it. You have to come and say, Derek, what are you doing? You should do your job. And he's like, I don't want to do it. It's early. I had a really bad night. Please, no. So it's that.
So within my circles as humanitarian workers, there's some countries, places that you go for a rite of passage as a humanitarian worker. And for me, for many years, South Sudan was at the top of that list. There's this thing called the R&R, rest and recuperation. And how it works is all staff that are hired are required to go on leave every 6 weeks. I was due for leave the week that the borders were closed. So I've been here much longer than like the 6 weeks have come and gone, and I'm not sure I'll be leaving anytime soon. To an extent, you'd think it should be quite easy to deal with this because we have 80% of the power in our hands. It's very simple. Social distancing, how basic is that? Wash your hands with water and soap. But what if it wasn't that simple? Especially where we are now, there's not enough water flowing into the refugee camps. Basically, they're haggling for space to get to the water point. For you to do the only thing that you can do to keep yourself safe, you inadvertently end up exposing yourself to the disease. It's a conflicting feeling.
When I look out, I feel the feeling it's Sunday. There's not many cars around. One or two people walking down the road and all the cars are parked. I think me and Switzerland, they're managing very well. I'm very confident and optimistic that everything will go according to plan. And if you just follow the rules and stick to washing your hands, then things will be fine. My wife is pregnant now, month 6. And at the moment, fatherhood feels very close, but still very far away. Everything is so surreal. The daily lives have already changed massively. So a baby suddenly doesn't seem that drastic because what's going on in the world is very drastic.
La cuarentena acá en Argentina es obligatoria y acá no podés salir. El gobierno hizo un listado de actividades necesarias. Podés salir a comprar, pero te volvés a tu casa enseguida. Mi amiga, la que vive en Gran Bretaña, me dice que allá te dejan salir a hacer ejercicio. Acá, no way. O sea, la ciudad está realmente muy vacía y el color del cielo cambió. Se respira aire limpio, hay más pájaros, el cielo está más celeste, más brillante. Yo te confieso que me da miedo decir esto en voz alta, pero estoy re bien.
¡Qué bueno!
O sea, me está haciendo bastante bien una gran parte de todo esto. Obvio que quiero salir, obvio que quiero ver gente tomar una cerveza, abrazar a mis amigos y a mis amigas.
Claro.
Pero mi humor está mucho más estable y siento que mi ansiedad bajó.
Ben İngiltere'deydim, Londra'da. İtalya sınırlarını kapatmışken, Çin sınırlarını kapatmışken İngiltere'de herkes her sabah koşmaya ve işe gitmeye devam ediyordu. Sanki orası kurtarılmış bölgeymiş gibi yaşıyorlardı. Ailem çok ısrar ediyordu arkadaşlarım buraya gelmem için. Çünkü burada Türkiye'de çok daha ciddiye alınıyordu bu olay. Ve kapı kapatılmadan bir saat öncesinde ben İstanbul'a geldim. Benim köpeğim var. Dolayısıyla onun ihtiyaçları için onu dışarı çıkarmak zorundayım. Ama bir taraftan basın kartı sahibi olduğum için de zaten benim çıkmak gibi bir özgürlüğüm de var. Çok turistik bir yerde oturuyorum, Galata'da. Burada normalde iğne atsan yere düşmez. Ama şu anda gerçekten çok ıssız, çok sessiz, hiç kimseler neredeyse yok. Sanki eski İstanbul gibi. Arabalardan kaçarak yaşamıyor kediler ve köpekler yollarda. İnsanların tekmelerinden kaçarak yaşamıyorlar. Korkarak yürümüyorlar. Kuşlar çok güzel uçuyor. Kulaklarım onları çok daha temiz duyuyor Işıl, anladın mı? Ne bileyim, pati seslerini falan duyuyorum sokakta. Çok güzel. Gerçekten ben onlara misafir olmuşum gibi. Dünyaya aitmişim gibi hissediyorum. Sahipmiş gibi değil. Ve bu duygu beni çok yeşertiyor. Çok iyi hissettiriyor.
I'm just feeling very secure in the farm. I am not depending on anything from the system. To be self-sufficient is quite healing. To live in the nature, to go with the flow of the seasons. When I look to what's going on in the system, which is collapsing now, well, I don't feel anxious because I feel so secure in the nature. When I walk out from my door, I touch the earth. And when I walk a little bit, I see a stream. There is water, there are trees. I just go sit on the trees. And there are no cars passing by from the roads. It's out in the country. You know what I mean? Maybe once a day I open the news, also because I have family and friends in Turkey, but I don't want to read all the way through. Because to go with that big wave, it won't lead me anywhere.
Min vardag blir lite kaosig och jag kan liksom inte fokusera riktigt på de sakerna jag borde göra, och mina plikter och mina skyldigheter liksom att göra det jag ska och det jag vill göra egentligen, men det har mycket tankekraft och mycket energi att tänka på vad det är som kommer hända i framtiden och hur allting ser ut liksom. Min flickvän, hon har ett väldigt starkt behov av närhet, så här, kramar och sånt där. Och att eftersom jag inte kan vara där och ge henne det kanske, ja, jag vet inte vad jag ska säga mer. Det är svårt att prata om.
When we are in the middle of the ocean where you cannot see anyone around you other than the sky and the ocean, then definitely you feel like that you are from another planet. First of all, it is not a very social work. Living on the ship and staying on the ship, if you are not familiar with it, it can make you crazy or make you mad completely. Mentally, you got to be highly strong to stay away from shore months after months. Who you are and why you are here and what you do, those kind of feelings are very prominent. You are seeing water only, and it makes you very, very lonely person in the world. You feel that very loneliness.
It's been quite tough time, but happy Liberation Day.
Happy Liberation Day.
It's super strange having Liberation Day and everything is quiet. Usually Liberation Day has always been a day when we, go out and celebrate, liberation of Italy from fascism. So the fact that we can't really go out and celebrate, it's really, really strange. Like trying to take part in this Facebook event where at 3 p.m. we'll be on the balcony singing Bella Ciao.
Oh, that's very cool.
We'll see how it goes, because here normally when we do something on the balcony, that not many people join in.
Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao, seppellire lassù in montagna sotto l'ombra di un bel fiore.
It could help people to feel more united in that respect, that we're all together and we remember the past.
Jeg havde lige siddet og skrevet min sidste vilje, som er sådan en form for ubindende testamente. Det var en af de ting, der skete, fordi at den her krise kom, og min kusine på 37, hun døde her i forrige uge. Og hun har været kræftsyg meget længere. Så vi havde bare nogle fede samtaler de sidste par måneder i hendes liv. Ikke? Så.
Ja.
Altså det gjorde også, at vi jo i familien har snakket ret meget om død. Rent personligt er det jo også en måde ligesom at få sat noget hierarki over de mennesker, der har betydet noget for en de sidste år. Det har været en lille håndfuld venner, som har vist sig at kunne steppe op på nærmest familieplan. Ikke? Altså, det er jo et blegt produkt at prøve at give dem nogle ting fra sit liv, ikke? Specielt når der ikke ejer så meget. Så fuck om du arver en tegneserie eller en pladespiller, ikke? Altså, det er jo ikke det, man vil give dem. Man vil bare gerne... Det er bare fedt, hvis man skulle dø, at der står en tingmand og læser op og siger, prøv at høre, altså, du betød faktisk noget.
I mean, you're asking how I feel about when I leave the compound, but that's even too far away. Ask me how I feel about when I leave my door. Do you know how many opportunities of infection there are? I'm quite worried because I'm being treated for blood deficiency. So my immune system as it is might not be as strong as other people's, so every time I'm stepping out, it's a risk. I think for me that the greatest concern is if I got COVID-19 right now, because I know being part of the team that's planning for the possible arrival of this disease, God forbid, but when it comes, I have a very clear picture of our capacities on the ground because I'm part of the team that's planning this response. And because I have a very clear picture, I am very, very worried about what would happen if I fell ill.
Our meals are being delivered now, which is nice. We order from the menu, and it can come at lunchtime or at dinner time. I feel very, very thankful for all that I have. Hopefully, they'll find a cure for this and a vaccine. Now, we're going to have are you familiar with Zoom? Well, we're going to have a Zoom meeting with our exercise leader, and she's going to be conducting the exercises from her house because we can't do it in real life anymore. And it's chair exercise, chair Pilates is what she calls it.
Es ceļos 7:00. 7:30 es pieslēdzos Instagram laivā un vadu rītarosmi savām dejotājām 45 minūtes. Pēc tam es eju dušā, pēdu brokastis. Rīta rosmes man ir katru rītu, izņemot svētdienas, jo to es gribēju uztaisīt gan pati priekš sevis. Es sapratu, ka ja man nav kaut kas priekš kā celties no rīta, es neizlēju no tās gultas ārā. Es izlēmu to uztaisīt kā izaicinājumu, un šobrīd jau tas, es vairs neskaitu, man liekas, 3 nedēļas ir pagājuši, un ir brīnišķīgi sajūtas, pamostos bez modinātāja, un meitenēm arī tas forši strādā, ir ļoti labs atsauksmes.
Ko tu dari, kad negatavojies treniņiem un negatavo horeogrāfijas?
Jūku prātā.
Det går inga flyg från London till Sverige. Jag vill bara så snart som möjligt träffa henne och ha henne i mina armar liksom. För några dagar sedan så hade vi ett ganska jobbigt samtal. Med tanke på hur situationen är och sådär. Sen så gick jag till skolans musikhus och så träffade jag 2 av mina närmsta vänner. Och så satte vi oss ner och så spelade vi bara. Så var det som att man får komma undan och komma in i den där fantastiska världen. För mig kan det ofta vara svårt att uttrycka mig själv genom att välja ut rätt ord och sätta ihop meningarna på bra sätt. Men genom musiken så kan jag uttrycka det jag känner. Om vi tar oss igenom det här med en hel relation så kommer vi vara starkare än någonsin. Våran kärlek är för stark för att vi skulle ge upp det vi har på grund av situationen i världen liksom.
I'm completely alone, and I chose to be alone. I mean, I never thought it would take this long. Sometimes I have a feeling that it's like the days is not 24 hours. It's like a whole week of feelings packed in one day, basically. And it's been like this every day. I can wake up in the morning like at 7 o'clock and everything looks fine. The sun is shining. And then I get coffee and everything seems to be okay. And on a regular day, it would be an okay day. But at 10 o'clock, I am sad. And then at 12 o'clock, I'm crying. At 2 o'clock, I go to bed and I have to sleep. And when I wake up, I feel even worse. And then it's still 6 p.m. And I look at the clock and it's like, oh my God, this day doesn't end. And then for some reason, then you start to feel energized again. And today was like this.
I wake up at 2 or 3 p.m. and sleep at like 3 a.m. My sleep schedule is a huge mess. I don't know what to do with it.
Is it harder to do Ramadan now?
No, for me it's like way easier because I have nothing to do. And that's why I sleep during the day, because then I don't have to spend time thinking about why am I so hungry or am I so thirsty. And so I wake up at 3 p.m., wait for 3 hours, and then I can eat. Because last year, I remember I had to do like my year-end exams during Ramadan at school. So this year is pretty much easier.
Escuché también que hay helicópteros controlando que no haya nadie como en lo alto de los edificios.
Sí, en el ático de vez en cuando pasan los helicópteros porque hay gente que se ve que ha hecho barbacoas o han hecho reuniones sociales y la policía es súper estricta y pues está ahí controlando y con drones y todo. No me gusta nada el control policial tan estricto. O sea, la gente pues es adulta, es madura. Yo salí a comprar tabaco, que está a 5 minutos de mi casa, y la policía me paró justamente nada más salir de casa, me dijo que dónde iba, yo le dije que iba al estanco, y conforme llegué al estanco, a 5 minutos pasaron, estaba la misma policía esperando, comprobando que fuese a comprar tabaco. y después a una amiga tuvo que salir a darle un tupper a unos amigos suyos que vivían justamente enfrente, y a las 2 horas se presentó la policía en su casa porque una vecina suya la había denunciado.
Che, ¿y me contás cómo fue la experiencia de volver a ver a toda la familia después de más de 6 meses?
La verdad es que fue mucho más tensionante de lo que me hubiera imaginado porque tuvimos que romper la cuarentena. Entonces surgió la idea de ir a lo de una de mis hermanas que vive en el conurbano, que tiene una casa gigante con un parque gigante, y entonces era como más abierto y menos peligroso. Pero para ir hasta allá había que ir en auto y hay que sacar un permiso especial porque te puede parar la policía y te puede preguntar a dónde estás yendo. Entonces ya para sacar ese permiso especial había que mentir. En el permiso tenés que poner por qué. Y hay uno de esos motivos que dice trámite impostergable. Nosotros lo que pusimos, teníamos una casa ahí, necesitábamos ver que estuviera todo en orden, que no hubiera filtraciones, que no la hayan ocupado, digamos, algo así. Y además, digamos, con toda la paranoia, no me gusta usar mucho la palabra paranoia porque no me considero paranoica, pero imagínate que después de meses de estar encerrada, yo pensaba, bueno, hay que tener cuidado. Qué sé yo, la verdad que fue un tema, es como, sí, fue re lindo ver a mis hermanos, obvio, pero en la experiencia total y tuvo cosas feas también, porque vamos a romper así la cuarentena y con el riesgo de lo que puede llegar a pasar, ¿viste? Obvio que después estuvo todo re bien, no nos cruzamos ni con un policía, pero, digamos, no me había dado cuenta, pero tenía como un dolor en la nuca, ¿viste? Como de contractura, de tensión, y hasta que no volví, es como que eso no se me pasó.
I went out 4 days ago to buy honey because I was running out of honey and I was waiting for the layer of the paint to dry. So I went out, feed the pigeons and buy my honey. On the way back, there was like 3 patrols, 2 of them passing me without paying attention. And the same third guy that stopped me under the rain last time, exactly this guy stopped me again. This time it's like 1 police and 2 SWAT guys, you know, in the West.
Really?
He told me like, why did you go out? And I was looking at him, I just looked at him and said, seriously? And I opened the bag because in the bag there is a honey. And then I didn't say anything else, I just like continue walking. And he was shouting like, stop, I didn't finish with you. So that's like, I didn't even pay attention. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Some of the police will receive bribe. Even me, I'm a victim of that. I was not wearing my mask and then they took some money from me. I was leaving home that day and I was going to the office in Matare. So on my way to the office, there are some 3 police officers. I was not wearing my mask, so they caught me. You'll allow me to start also crying, because it's emotional for me. Anyway, so they caught me. They put me in the cell for 5 hours. There was a search that was conducted to me by the people who were inside the cell, and most likely there were people with criminal cases. The first reception that I got, I was actually tortured. Sorry for that. It is just bad. So, yeah. Actually, the one who came to my rescue was my friend, and he came and was able to make sure that I'm out of that place. You had to pay them some money. It goes to their own pockets. So I've always been wearing a mask after that. Yeah.
I'm meant to go home every 6 weeks, and I've been here for 6 months. It's actually been really, really difficult to get out of bed for quite some time now. I think it was also psychological. I just feel so tired, so exhausted. Like even just opening up my eyes was just so tiring. My spirit is willing, but my body is weak. You know what they say about the body? They say it's very merciful until it's not. It's going to give you signs and signs, like you feel a bit of pain around your neck, around your shoulders. You know, it'll be very merciful, give you lots of warning. But if you don't take any action, the minute it decides to stop with the warnings, it can be very ruthless. I need to find ways to respond effectively to these warnings that I'm getting.
There is sewage repair around the house, and then they dig the soil so deep so I could see the layers of the soil, like I could see underground, very, very deep. It was like very metaphoric to me. It was very synchronized with the inner experience that I had one of these days, because I felt a little bit down. I felt quite underground, as I used to when I had this anxiety problem. So I have a little lump on my throat for a couple of months now. If there's an infection in my throat, it appears and then it goes away. So that day I felt this itchy feeling, and then it triggered, I couldn't take it as something normal. It just became so big in a split second. I had to spend the whole day like lying down. I didn't feel very well, but it helped me actually to understand. I think that the main thing that everybody is experiencing during these corona days is the fear of death. I just thought about it. No matter what is going on around you, it's always in your mind and inside of you.
Det er sgu da nøje.
Ja.
Men altså, det behøver vel ikke betyde, at du har corona. Hvorfor tror du, det er corona?
Jeg fik virkelig sådan kvalme, da jeg sad og spiste morgenmad, og så måtte jeg bare løbe ud til toilettet lige pludselig. Det var bare sådan, det skulle da ikke være normalt. Det har jeg aldrig prøvet før. Hele dagen har jeg sådan haft det som om, at mine lunger sådan var kolde eller sådan.
Ja, du har ikke feber eller noget?
Nej. Så er det virkelig, at det bliver svært at være hypokonter oven i hatten, ikke?
Ja.
Kan man gå og diskutere med sig selv hele tiden.
Jeg tror på en måde, alle er lidt nu. Hypokonter.
Ja, det er det.
Det kunne også bare være noget andet, kunne det ikke? Eller
Jo,
hvad?
det kan bare være manflu.
Du må lige sige, hvordan du har det i morgen. Altså. Jeg håber,
Ja, jeg skriver, hvis jeg pludselig ligger døende.
Ja, så kan jeg skynde mig at ringe til dig.
Ja, så
Optag din sidste vilje.
Min sidste vilje er der sindssygt scoop. Altså,
Total scoop.
på mit dødsleje råber jeg, den sidste linje skal streges!
I basically thought that it would be good to go and take pictures of those doctors and take pictures. Well, it's called sluice, the room which basically connects so-called green zone and red zone, or as they call it, clean zone and dirty zone. There are two nurses who spray you with certain liquid, and then they help you undress from this protective gear, and then they utilize it in specific beans, and then they spray you all over again with sanitizer, and then you're free to go into the clean zone. I had full protective costume. I was basically all wrapped up, and then you put goggles on, and then you wear gloves, and they duct tape it around your wrist, so there won't be any way for virus to go in. My hands were sweating inside in my gloves, but also from outside, this condensate. And my goggles, they got all sweaty and misty. Like I couldn't see at some point. 1 hour afterwards, I just took a selfie and I couldn't recognize my own face. I never expected I have so many little veins and vessels under my skin. And I spent only an hour, and I had 1 layer of gloves and mask. Doctors have 3 layers of each. And they spent 8 hours in those costumes, and they also wear diapers.
Can you just explain the diapers?
While they work in the red zone, they can't go to the bathroom without going through this cleansing procedure all over again. So therefore, they kind of forced by circumstances to wear diapers.
So at the moment, I can see that it's picking up again. Since this week, restaurants are open again. People, when they go into a restaurant, have to give their name and their phone number. A week ago, shops opened again. The shops where you can get color, furniture, stuff like that. So we decided to go. So we can also use the time in quarantine to paint the baby room. So we went to get some color. Now, the thing is that it was really full that day at the furniture store. So we had to queue outside, just like at the airport, where there's a queue line which goes like a zigzag. And there was a traffic light system at the entrance of the store, plus 2 security guards that would make sure that people stick to that, to then tell you when you're allowed or show you when you're allowed to go into the shop. Funny thing is, in the shop itself, then people are quite close.
They're lifting up the restrictions, even though we have hundreds of new cases every day.
I mean, there are some people who like, you know, they have to go outside because they're like in a mid to low class economy wise. If they stay at home, they won't make any money and they can't live basically. So, I mean, the right thing to do is to stay at home, but it's not very doable. I still text with my like Hungarian friends, and I mean mostly on TikTok, but still, I mean it's kind of fading away. We have like a group of friends, like a chat, and they always plan like to meet, and I've been further away from that life, and also with my Indonesian friends because they went to school like last year and I didn't went. I wasn't with them, so I missed a lot of that. So I'm in between nothing. So yeah, it's I don't know where I am.
Basically, I'd wake up in the mornings and I'd feel more exhausted than I felt when I was going to bed. But recently, something changed. I think it was my mindset. I think I'm just saying this as home. I think that's what I feel now. Like I'm no longer thinking of the day I'll leave. You know, I don't have much control over the situation and I'm stuck here for now. So I'd as well just get on with my life or my life is going to zoom past me. So I think that mind shift just makes it so much easier for me to wake up. I think I'm creating a new reality for myself. You know, I'm here to stay.
El día de mi cumpleaños fuimos con Flor a tomar una cerveza que, como yo, hace un montón que no tomo cerveza. Entonces, claro, me tomé una y ya estaba medio borracha. Y fue muy loco porque volví a sentir la sensación de estar borracha en la calle. Me sentí por un momento como medio extranjera, de viaje, como en una ciudad diferente, en una ciudad desconocida. Va a haber un trabajo muy fuerte de reencontrarnos con la ciudad y reencontrarnos entre nosotros como ciudadanos, ¿viste? Yo pensaba mucho esto, como tantos meses de aislamiento tiene un costo social, inevitablemente. Entonces me parece que desarmar eso va a costar. Desarmar eso va a costar.
Rebecka har kommit hit igen. Och för mig så är det helt fantastiskt. För jag känner att nästan all oro och den ångesten man kände förut är borta. Det känns som hemma. Första dagen när hon kom så kände jag mig alldeles pirrig och nervös och exalterad. Jag kände att allting var spännande och nytt igen på något sätt. Isolationen har ju påverkat vårt förhållande ganska mycket. Det finns saker som vi behöver prata om mer i framtiden som kom upp nu eftersom vi blev distanserade från varandra ofrivilligt.